Good evening. In India, both at the central and state levels, we have various organizations. And these organizations are basically meant for enforcing certain laws. We know what are these laws. These may be civil laws, these may be criminal laws, these may be various other laws. In order to enforce, in order to implement those laws, certain organizations are necessary. That is the reason why we have various organizations in India. And one such organization which is always there in the news, which is very much there in the news nowadays, especially, is the ED, Enforcement Directorate. Regarding that organization, I would like to give you the information today. If you look at ED, this is the Enforcement Directorate, or sometimes you will see Directorate of Enforcement. Both are right, so there is nothing to get confused. And if you look at ED, it was created in the year 1956. It was created in the year 1956. And one possible question for the examination is that the organization, so-called ED, Enforcement Directorate, functions under which ministry? And your answer should be the Ministry of Finance. As we all know, under each ministry there are various departments. Similarly, under the Ministry of Finance, you have a department called Department of Revenue. And under the Department of Revenue, this Enforcement Directorate functions. Please remember all the points. Any point may be a question, because Enforcement Directorate is very much there in the news nowadays because of its raids in various places in India. Regarding that, I would like to share the information with you. Kindly have a look at this. So here is the document. But before we go ahead, I would like to remind you one more time that please download our app from Play Store, Google Play Store, and the name of our app is kalyanias.com. Fine. And this will help you to receive the regular updates. Now, if you look at this ED, so this is the Directorate of Enforcement. Look at this. So this is the Department of Revenue under the Ministry of Finance, under Government of India. You are getting all the points here. One question, maybe a direct question. Under which department? Under which department of a Ministry of Finance Enforcement Directorate functions? Your answer should be Department of Revenue. Or they may ask you, under which ministry the ED functions? Your answer should be Ministry of Finance. Now, I would like to show you what are the various laws that are enforced by ED. Look at this. So this is the multidisciplinary organization mandated with the investigation of offences of money laundering and violations of the foreign exchange laws. Very, very, very important one. And if you look at the first one, very much there in the news every time. This is a PMLA, that stands for Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002. Kindly look at this one. This is a criminal law. This is enacted to prevent money laundering, and that particular law is enforced by ED. That is the reason why Enforcement Directorate is called Law Enforcing Agency, and this PMLA of 2002 is enforced by Enforcement Directorate. Similarly, you know what is the FEMA, Foreign Exchange Management Act of 1999, and this is a civil law. This is enacted to consolidate and amend the laws relating to facilitate external trade and payments, and also to promote orderly development, and moreover the maintenance of a foreign exchange market in India. With that intention, you got an act called FEMA. Earlier it was called FERA, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. And over a period of time, in the year 1999, Foreign Exchange Management Act has replaced the earlier act called FERA. Please remember this one. And this is also implemented by the Enforcement Directorate. Kindly remember these points. And I would like to show you one more act, and we have discussed this when it was um, made into a law. The Fugitive Economic Offenders Act of 2018. Very, 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 very important one. This law was basically enacted to deter economic offenders from evading the process of Indian law by remaining outside the jurisdiction of the Indian courts. Regarding this also we have discussed during our current affairs classes earlier. So please remember, all these laws were enforced by ED, and this is the agency that is always there in the news. And try to update yourself from time to time with respect to the news that is related to the Enforcement Directorate. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next session.